Sharia. Every Muslim is under an obligation to fashion his entire life in accordance with the dictates of the Holy Quran and Sunnah, and is to observe at every step the distinction between what is right, halal, and what is wrong, haram. As man-made legal systems bind social codes of conduct in Western societies, so too Sharia law sets the guidelines in Islam. With high crime rates, broken homes, mental illness, chaos and confusion, so-called progressive, modern and enlightened man-made laws are questioned in Islam. The first primary source of Sharia is the Quran, the Muslim holy book, which was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad by God in the year 622 AD. Muslims believe the Quran is the source of divine laws that govern their everyday lives. The Sunnah is the second primary source of Sharia. Sunnah is the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad and everything he did and said during his lifetime. The Sunnah is considered to be the second source of Sharia after the Quran, and by no means less important. Sharia governs all aspects of a Muslim's life, from marriage to death, to education, to social security, inheritance, property rights, and even economic systems.
إنما يطبق الحد إذا كان هناك خلافة إسلامية دولة إسلامية وهناك.
For had or punishment to be practiced, there must first be an Islamic nation, an emir responsible for this nation, and a committee of Islamic scholars and judges specialized in these matters. They alone can decide whether had should be practiced.
وجوبا للجرم الذي ارتكبه الإنسان.
In other situations, ta'zir is applied, which can include lashes, imprisonment, a fine, or simply a warning.
The word had, the translation of that in English would be capital punishment, right? Or corporal punishment. Now, what's interesting, we understand in the Bible, because we refer everything back to the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments is the foundation of the monotheistic faith of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the final chapter, right? And we refer back to the Ten Commandments where it says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not commit adultery. These are all laws that are set down by God on us, right? And if people break these laws, then there's a punishment for it.
It is believed that if you are punished for a crime in this life, you will be absolved in the afterlife. According to Quranic guidance, drinking liquor does more harm than benefit to an individual and society as a whole. Many cases of horrible crimes, accidents, and domestic violence occur under the influence of alcohol and other intoxicating substances. Human life is sacred in Islam. In the case of intentional murder, the accused is executed. If, however, the murder was accidental, diya or blood money is paid to the family of the deceased. As Islam focuses on the well-being of the family and extended family, inheritance laws are based upon the premise that men are the main providers for a family and would therefore receive the greater part of the inheritance. The right to own property was given to both men and women 1400 years ago. At the same time, women gained the right to vote and participate in political life.
Women have been able to vote on everything for 1400 years. And only just in the beginning of the 20th century did women be able to vote in Western countries. Women had the right to run businesses and own property and inherit, whereas women did not until the 20th century.
In Switzerland, it was just not too long ago, I'm talking about within about 50 years ago, that women were just allowed to vote. Well, over 1400 years ago, women were allowed to vote in Islam, right? Women were allowed to hold positions of authority, right? They were allowed to study. They were allowed to work. And you heard that saying, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine? Islamically, that's correct for the Muslim woman, because what she earns is hers.
This is the one that I like the best, is women back then as well as today, whatever monies they keep, or whatever the monies that they make, they get to keep. They don't have to pool their income resources with the household.
The Islamic economic system is different from conventional commercial transactions. Today there are many investment opportunities in compliance with Islamic Sharia. introducing the investor to socially responsible funds listed on the Dow Jones Islamic Market Index, among other indices. Some restrictions include companies producing, distributing or selling alcohol, pork or pornography, operators of gambling casinos and producers of gambling equipment, as well as financial investment institutions that invest in restricted companies. The principles of Islamic banking are grounded in Sharia law, whereby banks enter into a partnership arrangement with the investor, sharing both profits and losses. Muslims are discouraged from living on credit. Sharia encourages cash transactions in order to limit debt and allow us to live free from financial worry and anxiety. If crimes are allowed to go unchecked, it will most certainly disrupt the social fabric of the whole ummah or state. Sharia law merely provides the guidelines to protect Islamic societies.